Joan Quinn Profiles. As an editor for Andy Warhol's Interview, the Los Angeles Herald-Examiner, LA Style, and Detour magazines, Joan covered the social set, the Hollywood hotshots, the international art scene, the mysteries of food, the excitement of travel, and the fabulous world of fashion. Joan continues to find creative people on the cutting edge who make things happen. Here's Joan Quinn.
Hi, I'm Joan Quinn, and welcome to the Joan Quinn Profiles. Waiting to be profiled are actress Dream Rockwell and guitarist-songwriter Michael Gossard. Canadian-born actress Dream Rockwell grew up on a farm in the middle of the woods. At 15, she was chosen to be in a French exchange program, and at 16, she moved to Toronto to attend the Watson School of Performing Arts. Dream toured Europe and the Middle East as a professional dancer. You were dancing then, right? Mm-hmm. And then you went on to New York to study with William Esper, the great acting coach, and you worked for an actress on Another World and Late Night with Conan O'Brien. And mm-hmm. Who did you play in Another World?
I played Misty Marlowe.
Oh, you remember? Oh, it's a great name. Another
I
great
know.
name.
Misty Marlowe. She was very devious. Yeah.
Did you know how to play her?
Yeah, I did all right.
So being from the middle of a farmland, mm-hmm. How did you take to the big city? Toronto is pretty cool.
Toronto was easy. I really loved being in Toronto. New York City threw me for a loop.
Did it?
Yeah. When I arrived in New York, I was like, oh.
Then how'd you get to Esper? How'd you get to that studio?
I was studying at another studio and called Circle in the Square, and everybody was talking about William Esper.
Oh, I see.
So I wanted to go and interview for him, but everyone's like, oh, you'll never get in. It's very difficult. And I had my interview, and I interviewed with Bill himself, and then he said, he's very, serious, and he was like, so, you going to be here on Tuesday? And I was just like, and I didn't know that he was saying,
you're in?
You're in. And I was like, well, I wasn't planning on being here on Tuesday. And he's like, oh, so you don't want to come? And I'm like, he's like, what are you doing here then? And I was like, oh, no, yeah. So
I heard it was like a rigorous training.
Oh, yeah, he's intense. But I loved him. I spent 2 years with him and then came back for the, I forget what they call it, but there's an invitational third year, and I came back for that. And
does it open doors for you in New York as far as acting goes?
It was great. People, if they know that you studied with him, it's...
Oh, they have the
yeah.
He has the cachet of
yeah, he's got the cachet, for sure.
And you have the cachet.
Yeah.
Then what happened?
Well,
so after Misty, did you go to Conan?
Yeah, I was doing Conan. Yeah, that was after. Yeah, I did Conan for on and off for 3 years, just the comedy skits. He does
how do you do that? How did you get hired?
I was doing a lot of sketch comedy and improv comedy. It's my favorite thing. So he was, I don't know, somehow I was on the radar. I don't know how it happened, but... But
who were you when you were on that
show?
Oh,
a different character every time.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Did you write them?
No.
They wrote them, so then but you had a different name.
Yes, I did. Marcia Dore.
Marcia Dore, was that a made-up name too?
No, that's my name. Dream Rockwell is my superhero, so...
So who is your superhero?
Dream Rockwell.
Oh, Dream Rockwell is fantastic. We love her.
She can do everything that Marcia Dore could not do.
Oh, so she wasn't Marcia Dore. She was Marcia Dore.
Marcia Dore.
Is that because it's French?
I don't know. I grew up in Canada, and I was always Marcia, and I came to the States, and I was suddenly Marcia, and I was like, wait a minute.
I know.
I didn't sign up for that.
So I'm going to change my name again.
Yeah, that's really what happened. I couldn't, it was just every time correcting people, it was very difficult, and I was like, forget it.
Did Conan call you by the right name?
Yeah, he called me Marcia, but he knew. So
he knew,
yeah,
right.
He knew.
So why did you leave there?
Well, I signed with 3 Arts Entertainment, which is a really amazing production house and management company. They do a lot of things. They're like a full house. They do everything. I signed with them, and they had recommended that I come to Los Angeles.
Oh, is that what happened? And you came to LA from there?
I came to LA, and when I got here, just many things happened once I was here that like spiraled me onto a new path.
Well, you tied up with some of Madonna's
I did.
talent.
I
I'm going to say
did.
people who were talented underneath,
I did.
not underneath her, behind her, let's say.
Yeah. I was in the movie called The Replacements, and I actually got cut out of the movie, and it was really devastating for me. And the director called me into the studio to watch the clips, and I took a look at the clips, and he's like, here's you in the movie and here's you not in the movie, and he's like, look why, you know, he showed me all the reasons why they had to take me out.
Really?
He felt really bad about it. He was awesome, and I just broke down and started crying, and I was like, I had, you know, one of those moments. And the next day his assistant called me and said that he felt really bad about what had happened, and that he had something special for me at the Guitar Center.
Oh,
So
really?
I went to the Guitar Center, and he had left a gift certificate for me to buy a guitar, because I told him that I really wanted to play the guitar, but I didn't have a guitar. So
well, what a good producer, director.
Yeah, really nice
was
guy.
Fantastic.
Yeah, really nice guy. So I went in there, and you know, I told him my whole career is riding on this role, and you just cut me out, like.
But it's amazing that he took you in and showed you what happened and how you did it.
Yeah, he was very thoughtful about it. I mean, he wasn't a jerk about it. He was thoughtful about it. But anyways, as it turned out, I ended up going in there to find a guitar, and I couldn't play well, and I wanted an electric guitar, and I couldn't play well enough to really hear which one sounded better than the other. And so one of the guys working there said, you got to ask that guy, he'll play for you. And they pointed to some guy who was literally polishing guitars. And he wasn't even selling guitars, he was polishing them.
He was just working as the polisher.
Well, I mean, he was doing
Whatever.
he was supposed to be selling, but he was no good at it. So they were making him do other stuff. So he took me into this room, and he played this guitar like I've never heard in my life. And I was like, I know, I felt like my career was over. I'd just been cut out of this movie. And, it was one of those dramatic moments. And I was like, do you have management? Like, what are you doing? And he's like, well, I'm just working here, and, I'm in a band. Right? And I said, I'll manage you. And I walked out of the Guitar Center and walked around the corner, and there was a little store that sold contracts. And I got a little contract for management. I walked back in, and I gave it to him, and I said, think about it. I've never managed anyone before, but let's do a 6-month deal. And if I don't get you national exposure in 6 months, you can can me. And so he was like, okay, that sounds good to me. So he signed the contract, and literally 2 weeks later, he was teaching Madonna's then fiance or boyfriend, maybe Guy Ritchie, guitar lessons. Madonna.
So she came into the Guitar Center and found someone to teach him?
No, Guy Ritchie found.
That's when he found your guy?
Yeah. So I made him business cards that said, my plan was, if he could become a teacher to the stars, if he could just get in front of these people and play guitar for anybody, that he would, and it worked.
So from actress to manager.
To manager.
So you got on the cutting room floor, as they say, but you became a manager.
Yeah.
And so did you change your name then?
Yeah, that's when I changed my name.
So, and then you became very entrepreneurial.
Mm-hmm.
And what was it, Do Lab?
So I went on the Drowned World tour with Madonna. And then
so how'd you do that? Oh, because of
with
this
him?
boy?
Yeah, with him. He became her guitar player.
What was his name?
Monty Pittman.
So Monty went with her to work?
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. So we went on this tour, and then when we got off the tour, I wasn't happy. It's a very stressful environment. Madonna's, really amazing at what she does, but not easy to work for. So.
And what were you doing for her?
Well, I was working for him, really, taking
for Monty?
care of him. Yeah, I was basically taking care of him.
So were you making a look for him? Did he have a look?
I did. I created a look for him. I created some looks for her. I did.
And how do you do that? You say, oh, your hair doesn't look good? Or
no,
you need a scarf?
I'm like pretty, often flamboyant dresser. So, and at that time, extremely so. And I would come in all these crazy outfits. Yeah, she loved. The rhinestone pants on the cover of Music were rhinestone pants that, not the ones that she was wearing, but they are a copy of ones that I had made for Monty.
Oh, you made them for Monty? Mm-hmm. You designed them?
Yeah, I designed them, and she saw them and loved them. So it was just like, that kind of a deal. But I wasn't happy, and I wanted something of my own, and I didn't feel like fulfilled, or I didn't feel like she was grateful. You know, honestly.
Well, you were like pretty creative.
Yeah, and she
And
just
you're
kind of likes to borrow from people who are near her, and I just wanted to be in an environment where I felt really,
Like it was yours.
yeah, like what I was doing was there was gratitude and appreciation.
Well,
for
did Monty like what you were doing?
Oh yeah, he was great. You know.
So looking for someplace to be, you founded Lucent Dossier?
I founded the Do Lab first with
The Do Lab.
Yeah, with these two amazing guys, Josh and Jesse Fleming, and later their brother Dee Dee joined, and now it's a big outfit with lots of people.
And it's an event company?
It's an event
What
company.
does that mean?
Well, we were producing underground events, and then we got busted by the cops and went on probation for a couple of years. So now we produce like very legitimate above ground events.
Why was it underground? You
we
mean
were
staying
in
open
warehouses.
too late?
Yeah, we were in warehouses.
I see, without permits? Is
Without
that kind of
permits,
it?
yeah.
I see. But now Lucent Dossier is not without permit.
No, so Lucent Dossier came out of the Do Lab. It was the performance aspect of the Do Lab, and we ended up doing a small video with a band that was yet unheard of, and we kind of styled the video and did all this stuff for the video, and it turned out to be Panic at the Disco's I Write Tragedies Not Sins. I Write Sins Not Tragedies video, which became MTV's music video of the year.
Oh,
and we went on tour.
You were the one working on that. You created that.
Well, I wouldn't say I created it.
You
We
created
were part
the
of it.
artistic
I was part
part
of
of
it.
it,
Yeah, part of it. Part of the costuming and the
And so you went on tour again?
So we went on tour. We went on tour with Panic at the Disco.
But you had already toured. You didn't like it, but you were ready to go back again?
Oh, yeah. No, I just didn't like touring with Madonna. Like, I was excited to tour, but I just wanted to tour in a different way.
I see.
So, yeah, no, it was touring with Panic at the Disco was fantastic.
So that was a world tour?
Yeah, well, it was all around the U.S. and then England.
Yeah,
and
pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
And so, do you still speak English and French? Do you speak French?
I speak French and a little Italian and English, yeah.
So you hooked up with Shrine?
I hooked up with Shrine.
Tell us about that.
He was building a waterfall in my backyard of my house out in Santa Monica, and I as soon as I saw him, I just knew he was important. Like, I don't know if you ever get that feeling about somebody.
Well, you must get that feeling a lot.
I do. I'm pretty like that. But I saw him and I was like, and he was there for 2 months and I didn't talk to him. I literally ignored him for 2 months. And then one day, you know, some events happened and we just finally came together, and it was, we just started like, you know, this and this and this and this. And
a lot of ideas?
A lot of ideas. And I said I always wanted to be part of a circus, but nobody will let me in their circus.
Oh, so that's what he was doing?
And
Is
he,
that
no,
the Merrymakers?
No, he wasn't doing anything.
Oh.
He said I always wanted to perform, but nobody will let me perform because I never performed before.
Okay, so you're performing in this?
So
in your new club?
let's start a circus.
Okay.
I'll start a circus and you can perform. Like, let's do this thing.
Okay, so that's what Lucent Dossier is?
Yes.
Okay, and what do you perform?
I'm a singer and a dancer, so that's what I do.
And
primarily.
what does Shrine do?
He is an amazing character. He does clowning, kind of mad prankster stuff. And he also does Elixir Man, where he serves these herbal elixirs, and he does rosewater foot baths, where he washes people's feet.
During the circus? How does it, is it a stage? What is it? Tell us what the physical layout is. And it's in a club in Hollywood, right?
Yes, we're at the H-Wood in Hollywood. And
H-Wood.
H-Wood, H.Wood, all one word,
on
but with a dot.
Wednesdays.
H-Wood, on Wednesdays,
Okay.
yeah. So
It's the physical layout
okay, the
inside.
physical layout. So what we have is stations set up all around the venue, and the venue is broken up into all these little rooms with these little kind of tunnel hallways in between them. It's a really interesting venue. And so every room that you go into will have a different experience in it. So you can get a massage, or you can go to the Elixir Man, or you can get your feet washed, or you can go to the aura reading girl and have your aura read. You can go and have Post-Portal Post Office, where we have letters delivered from other dimensions and other universes.
So did you decide all of these things?
We do it.
You did it together?
We do it together, yeah. I'm very like...
So there's not one grand stage where you perform on one big stage. You have all these little
move
interacting, moving about.
And then people, there's also a group of performers that travel, and they do like a traveling kind of performance where they move around.
Within this building?
Within the building. And then we have aerial stuff. We have all these large metal aerial apparatuses, and we do all these, you know, beautiful aerial acts.
But people are doing the acts, and the customers come in and just watch everything that's going on?
They watch.
Or is it interactive?
It's interactive, very interactive, yeah. You can just watch if you choose to. You can just stand back and watch. You don't have to get involved at all. But if you want to, you can like get involved in all kinds of different ways.
Boy, you've really brought a new life to us today. And we thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It's really beautiful.
Dream Rockwell, dream on. That's great. Thank you. Don't go away, because we'll be right back with this musical phenomenon, Michael Gossard. Hi, hello, I'm Joan Quinn, and we're back with singer, guitarist, songwriter, actor, native Californian, Michael Gossard.
Hello.
Hi. The Crespi High School student is the front person for the LA band Acidic. He also plays with the Feisty Piranhas. He's a member of SAG and AFTRA because of his national commercial, your national commercial about drugs, and I'm going to ask you about that because I think that's pretty interesting. Michael's performed in concert, in films, TV, music videos, and musical theater. This teenager has toured the East Coast and performed at a variety of charity events. Did this music gene run in your family?
Absolutely. It goes all the way back. Oh, yeah. That and poetry. I guess it's the best of both combinations. I can write music and lyrics to it,
Oh,
you know?
it did? So where did it come from?
Well, on my father's side, back umpteen different generations, you have published poets and preachers, and then on my mom's side, you have dirty blues jazz musicians who grew up in the Kansas City jazz clubs during the Great Depression.
Oh, fantastic. So you're just the follow-up.
Absolutely. And as far as the band Feisty Piranhas, I used to play with them.
Oh, you used
I'm
to?
a former member of that band.
Oh, well, that's okay. We still have to mention it.
Oh, yes.
Because you traveled a lot with them, didn't you?
Not so much with them. It's been with Acidic. I played probably about 3 or 4 shows with the Piranhas.
But did they were at big venues, weren't they, when you played?
They played at reasonably sized venues, and they had good slots, and they brought in an interesting amount of people. And
that's why I wanted to mention, because you played in large places, small places, high school, whatever.
And especially with Acidic, the band I'm the front man in.
That's what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Did you pick up a guitar first, or did you start on the piano or something else?
You know what? I found guitar at the age of 3, and I'm very lucky I did, because it's been my lifelong passion, and I've had nothing but pleasant memories from it.
Is that right? From 3 years old?
Absolutely.
Did you try to play anything else?
I've had a natural inclination towards music my entire life. I've been able to teach myself the piano, the bass, a little bit of other string instruments, and but I mean, I guess my primary instruments are my voice and my guitar. So.
Okay, so this is a kind of a question that we have to ask. How'd you get so far at such a young age?
Oh, you know, if I could, lots of dedication.
Oh, dedication.
A lot of dedication.
Okay.
A lot of work. A lot of all-nighters, a lot of budgeting my time, and a lot of choosing my activities. Sometimes it's worth forfeiting, you know, a lot of your social experiences to do something amazing, because it all comes back to you at the end, you know?
Did you feel like you were forfeiting those things?
Yeah, well, honestly, no.
Through
because
school? Did you go to boys' school?
I go to an all-boys school right now called Crespi Carmelite High School. But, you know, I wouldn't so much call it forfeit. Well, it naturally is forfeiting normal situations, but playing shows and meeting people and being on TV and radio, I'd say it's more fulfilling.
But changing, we shouldn't say forfeiting, because you have a different kind of a social situation, don't you?
Yes, mine's not very conventional, I guess you'd say. I mean, it's my band just signed a recording deal with these 2 producers, so we're interested in that now, and we're going for it, and it's different.
Your band, Acidic, it was started by you.
Absolutely.
And what is a front man?
A frontman is the person who leads the crowd and the band at the same time on stage.
Oh, the crowd and the band.
That's what the definition is, in my mind.
I see, I see. Do you have to be the one who does all the work of keeping those kids together, keeping your bandmates together?
Well, no, I'm very lucky in the fact that I have 3 other dedicated musicians who are all putting their lives on the sidetrack to do this band full time.
So who does what?
I play guitar and vocals. Our drummer Matthew Whitaker plays drums and does a little bit of backup vocals. Our bassist Ted Dabrowski, he plays bass obviously and does some backup vocals. And then our newest member is our backup guitarist, whose name is Michael Thompson.
So who says we're going to meet today and we're going to practice?
The
front man?
Oh, in that particular scenario, I think it's going to be
the dirty work.
You know, it's pretty evenly split among us, but I mean, of course, naturally, I'm the Nazi about practice.
That's what I mean.
Exactly.
Who's going to do it, and where do you practice?
Right up the street, in fact, on 1940 Cotner Avenue.
Oh, you're right on this street where the studio is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. So do you call the practice time? Do you practice every day? When do you practice?
We practice every day at least an hour and work our butts off trying to get it.
Do you?
But
we're close to your school. Where's your school?
My school's in the valley.
Oh, so
but
we're not close.
I live on the west side, so it's pretty much the valley is the one place that I go that's very far from everything else.
That's far. Well,
yeah.
So you've helped raise money for your school.
Absolutely.
You've done charity things. How do you do that?
Well, naturally I use my God-given resources, which is the music. And to do that, I just either convince the band to play a show for benefit, to the school, or I'll go and play a couple songs, which I've done before, at alumni events, or anywhere they really need me. But raising money is something great, and it's something really enjoyable and rewarding.
Yeah, rewarding, I would think. When you were 13 or 14, you played with Disney Records. How'd you get that?
Well,
it was a revival of Devo?
Devo, yeah.
Did you know what Devo was?
At that point, I'd heard them naturally because I listen to a lot of music. But more the Devo thing, I went to a couple auditions and I was completely unaware of what I was getting into. And then they knew I was a guitar player and they called me on my birthday, on my 13th birthday. And they asked me if I could play bass and tour the country in a band, and I didn't know what to expect, so I took it.
Who called you? Disney?
It was my agent at the time.
Your agent.
Yeah.
That was going to ask you. Did you have an agent? So you do have an agent.
Yeah, and frankly, I haven't done a lot of work in acting lately, so I'm not really sure of my standing with that. But
I see.
At that time, I definitely did have an agent.
So that's why you went and did that tour with them.
Yeah.
So do you play a specific kind of guitar?
I like to say I play all kinds.
Do you?
Yeah,
I mean, is there someone that sponsors you? Is there a guitar company that says, "Oh, I want Michael. We're sponsoring him"?
Well, there is a guitar company that endorses us called Minaret Guitars, and you can check them out at their website, minaretguitars.com. And we're also endorsed by a company called Stash Picks.
Oh, I love this green pick. You gave me one.
Yeah.
So those people come and help the band?
Yeah, and we have a couple more, and we have a strap sponsorship, and
I see.
Yeah, just it's really cool. And they come to the shows, and they send us a lot of free or discount equipment, and that's always nice, especially with picks.
We talked about the band that you don't play with now. Mm-hmm. But what were the differences between the band that Acidic, which is your band, and another band, or say the Feisty Piranhas, just because you played with both of those, or compare them for us?
Well, the Feisty Piranhas, they were a great bunch of guys, and I really enjoyed playing with them. But if I had to say there was a main difference, I'd say it was maybe in the dedication level and also in the practice level. With the Feisty Piranhas, we were practicing maybe once a week and playing 8 shows a year, and that wasn't for me. So I left and I advanced my own project.
Is it the same music?
No. They hired me to be a backup guitarist for a couple of shows in that band. But I decided I really wanted to do something dedicated. So we have practice every night, and we play an average of about 65 shows a year.
That's really a lot.
Yeah.
How do you do it and keep your studies and keep Keep yourself together.
When I figure it out, I promise I'll tell you.
Oh, you haven't done it yet.
Well, I mean, it's just one of those things. Naturally, you're going to come into some conflict, and I've maintained my good standing as far as my grades pretty well.
Yeah, that's tough, isn't it?
That's very tough. But again, it's true. If you budget your time, you can do anything.
Well, you really made you made your SAG card and your after card from that commercial.
Yeah.
And it must have played a lot of times for you to be able to do that, right?
To be honest, I was told it played a lot. I have never actually seen it.
Well, what was it? Because it was pretty hot, wasn't it?
It was one of those national anti-drug commercial spots.
Anti-drug, yeah.
Anti-drug, yeah. And I guess the premise was that I was one of 3 teenagers in a park, and we were huffing paint fumes in this scenario. And I was the one who got to die.
You got that's what I mean.
And it was fun.
Is that the end of your acting career?
Well, as a coincidence, that is actually the last job.
Maybe that's what it was.
But they put Alka-Seltzer in my mouth to make it look like I was foaming.
Oh.
That is not comfortable. It blows up way too fast.
Oh, wow. Well, we have about a minute left. Can you play something on your guitar for us and tell us what you can play, what you'll play?
I'm going to play you a very simple song. This is going to be off our new album, which is produced by the Wizards of Oz. And it's called The Big Bang. I'm dying from these doses, it's psychosis and arguably untamed. But it sits in every image, thundering while I'm convulsing under skin. But face down in the sand, set on fire the helping hands. See it underground. But shooting for the sun, I've got a reason to live. Falling one by one, darkness burning within, fighting on the run. Run, run from the Big Bang. Just a little snippet.
That's great. Do you take voice lessons?
I do. I've been doing it since I was about 8, and I've been a professional singer for a number of years now. But
I
yeah.
know. So, and before we leave, I know you, on your travels or during your play, you met B.B. King.
Oh, B.B. King.
I know you were excited about that. Just give us a quick thing about that.
Well,
how it happened.
I won a competition to receive this guitar, and it was his custom model, the Lucille. And
Lucille?
And I was unaware that I was going to get to actually go on his bus and watch him sign it.
No.
And that was really interesting, standing next to one of your guitar idols on his tour bus right before you see him play. You know, it's...
Where was that?
This was at the Grove of Anaheim. This was about, I'd have to say, 2004.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and it was just a wonderful experience. It's the
Did he
nicest
know
guy
who
in the
you were?
world.
I mean, kind of like, did he look at you? Did he talk to you? Did he give you his guitar?
I got to spend like 15 minutes with him in his
Oh,
bus.
wow.
And,
Well, that was great.
Oh, it's a lot of fun, and those tour buses are just completely decked out, you know.
Have you traveled like that?
Actually, yes. And on the Devo tour, we did have a 60-foot tour bus, and we had the trailer and the truck and the convoy, and it was great. And you know, I only hope that I can replicate that with Acidic. And check us out at acidicband.com.
Yeah, that's great. And do you think that it's important for someone like you to go to college?
Absolutely. You know, there's always has to be a backup, especially since the music business is so volatile. You're never sure exactly if you're going to wake up with a hit or with a miss. So it's important to have a backup. And for that, I mean, I'm considering Musicians Institute. And because I really want to, you know, further the application of my educational knowledge.
Michael, I think we're going to wake up and see a hit. Good to meet you.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching the Joan Quinn Profiles today. And we'll see you next time. Keep writing to 777 South Figueroa, 44th floor, Los Angeles 90017. And email jaquinn1@aol.com. See you next time. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you very much.